Welcome to the Metals Events Forum. Today I have Scorpion Gold here. Welcome, Dan. Welcome, Harrison.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chen. Good to be here.
All right, good. I mean, this is an incredible story. Scorpion Gold, I remember I used to own that more than 10 years ago when the
Oh yeah.
much higher valuation when it was in production. Now you seem to have all the assets together and more. Just tell us, and then your market cap is so maybe 1/10 of before, maybe
Yeah,
less.
1/10. Yeah, I'd say that's probably right. And yeah, really, it's a great opportunity to kind of reboot the company. I think with where you starting to see gold move, and the company obviously went through some tough times when gold pulled back to 1,200, and really was in this kind of restart scenario and had a really tough couple of years. But we stepped in at the beginning of this year, restructured the business, really kind of found a new focus with Manhattan, which is a great blue sky exploration opportunity, really breathing a lot of life into the company. We built a great technical team. Harrison's been really leading the charge there. And then beyond that, I think we have some short-term value extraction opportunity with Mineral Ridge, the historic asset, and potentially some more blue sky with North Star that we're going to look at exploring next year.
Wow, great, excellent. So you're actively exploring right now, right?
Right now, yeah. So we've just completed around 6,000 meters of drilling. We're going to continue to drill into next year. Really, the focus of that was building on the existing 100,000 meters of historic drilling that has been done across the Manhattan project. We inherited a very large database of technical information from Kinross. Kinross has invested millions of dollars since the early 90s when they inherited the project with the acquisition of Echo Bay. And with their divestiture in 2021 and our acquisition, we've been able to consolidate ground, and really it presents a great opportunity. Maybe Harrison wants to add anything to that.
Yeah, it's been quite an exercise to go through all this data. It's a treasure trove for any geologist to go through, and we're finding soils data over that was outside of our claims at the time, and now we've amalgamated that ground as well. All the drilling that's been regionally in our area, as well as this would continue to go through the database in other areas as well. It's put together. It's a great geology exercise. Yeah.
Ultimately, I think we have multi-million ounce potential, driving towards 2 million ounces is kind of where we believe this thing will end, and potentially more. I think there's lots of blue sky opportunities, especially with the expanded ground. But in the existing pits that we have, there's some strike between there's some historic pits about 3 miles away that we all have consolidated. Within that 3 miles, we're going to continue to really explore there in the new year, and I think that's going to be potential to build on the existing million ounces that we're working to get compliant early next year, and then beyond that, really build a bigger resource.
Wow, excellent. Yeah, it's still pretty tough market. Imagine gold is over 2,600. Yeah, I mean, for a lot of company, as you said, they have problem making money at 1,200, but at this price, all these projects should be working.
Yeah, and still, I think that the companies that are going to survive in this market are the companies that have access to capital. Right? There's so many great projects out there, and so many projects that have potential. But really, it's having the combination of a great technical team, a good asset, but then also access to cash. And I think a lot of shareholders are pretty disillusioned in the junior market because they've been kind of diluted so massively with all these companies are cash starved. So one of the things that we feel that kind of differentiates Scorpio from other kind of small scale juniors in Nevada specifically is that we do have a permitted asset with a reserve, and that presents some short-term production potential. So for the company, that's short-term value extraction, which ultimately will allow us to potentially non-dilutively explore our projects and put more money in the ground without hurting the shareholders, regardless of where the junior market is today. So, and at today's gold price makes that a very viable scenario. And if we continue to see gold move, as you predicted too, like I think, or we all hope, that's just going to unlock more value for the company, allow us to invest in real exploration, build a significant resource, and then really re-rate the company on a whole without dilution.
Right. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. Looks like you successfully raised money recently, right, without warrant, which is
exactly which
is hard to do in this market.
It is. Yeah. No. And I think that really speaks to the strength of our shareholders too. We've been raising money at the market price and with no warrant and 4-month hold. So our shareholders are very committed to the long-term potential of the company. 12 cents is super cheap in the context of where this company is and the potential it has.
No, excellent. So what's your plan with the recent money raise?
Yeah, so the current money will basically finance us through to getting the resource complete in January, late January, early February. And that's really the re-rate potential. And then we'll probably look to do a bigger raise on the back of putting out that maiden resource. But I think also alongside that, we're obviously trying to chase down these non-dilutive cash opportunities. And one being Mineral Ridge and value extraction at Mineral Ridge. And two is the mill that we have at Gold Wedge. So the mill at Gold Wedge is permitted. It is operational. There's some high-grade ore opportunities in the district that maybe we could run some ore through that, and that could generate some short-term cash flow. We're looking at a number of different opportunities there, but I think ultimately we need to find that we're definitely going to be raising money late Q1, Q2 next year, regardless. But I think the price is going to be contingent on obviously drill results, getting this maiden resource out, and then potentially the company having a lot of cash already and cash flow coming in from the other assets.
Exactly. So for the mill, you mentioned you're looking to have a high-grade ore. Is that your ore or your toll mill milling other people's
It'd probably be toll, but that said, there may be ways that we could like JV partner so we get more economics, better economics there. I think at the very least it's toll milling, but potentially it's better than that.
No, good. I mean, just that mill could worth your current market cap.
Yeah, well, it costs, our understanding is it costs $35 million US in 2004 to build that mill.
Yeah.
Like today, I can only imagine, let alone the equipment value, but the permitting and all of the time to do that, that's invaluable. That's tens of millions of dollars just there. So,
right. So that's why the market is such a huge disconnect with valuation. What's just the equipment, the mill, as you
exactly,
mentioned, strategically located mill, fully permitted, and that was much more.
When we got to site, and Harrison knows this better than anyone, but there's tons of old equipment on the site when we took over the company that we're in the process of starting to liquidate, because that's just this company has such a long history, and there's so much baggage and old stuff that we feel has kind of been overlooked in terms of value extraction. So really kind of cleaning up everything, trying to basically streamline the whole business.
Wow, excellent. Maybe you talk about the management team and what
Well, Harrison's been leading the charge on our exploration and technical team, working alongside Daniel Coons and the Coons Group. And we're really happy working with Dan and his team. They've added a lot of value. They really do see the potential in Manhattan. So that's been great. And then I think on the more capital market side, Bill Sheriff has been a great asset to the business. He's a director and he's made a lot of introductions, knows Nevada very well, has a lot of history there. And we're going to continue to build the team out. We're in the process of making some changes right now. And we're probably going to elevate some of the board members a little bit and try and continue to build out the team pretty actively.
Good. I saw your technical advisor, Charles Funk.
And Charles has been a great asset. And maybe Harrison can maybe talk about a little bit about his background with working at B2, and he's got a very extensive history. So
I came from B2 Gold, was where I was primarily for most of my career so far. I started there back in 2015. Initially, where I was working on Limon Libertad from the corporate side. And then from there, I've been with B2 over in Mali, Uzbekistan, Finland, Japan. And then it's after the Sabina transaction, I was up at Back River as well.
Wow.
So I was more or less on the exploration team with them, as well, helping on some of the corporate development side as well. So I was introduced to putting together the team, actually with Zayn back in, it was around March, I believe. So I came to site, drove out. You can see between where there's the Gold Wedge mill and where the Manhattan pits were, and you can see the structure striking along to where Gold Wedge is, and you can see the resource potential you can put together between these past producing assets. And now that ground has been amalgamated, it gets me quite excited to build one larger resource there. So I've been using my my experience, I guess my worldwide experience to start to build my
Also-
team. And
Also, we're obviously a young team, and I think we're trying to bring more novel approaches and new kind of innovative things, and including machine learning and applying
right.
machine learning. We have a very extensive database of data that we can work on, and Harrison's got a lot of experience in that. So.
yeah, I did some machine learning with B2 Gold, so
Uh-huh.
I put together an algorithm that I can use to use for mass data, and we've have terabytes of data to go through that we're going to be using as a tool to help feed directions for drilling and exploration.
Wow, excellent,
Great.
excellent. Well, it looks like you have a great team set up and a great asset, and we just need to perform. Good
Awesome.
luck.
Great.
Good luck
Thank
as
you.
a shareholder, right?
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
I've been watching you for the drilling results and eventually the resource early
Great.
next year.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.